Yo, what's going on, E7 fam? Pat here, back with a bit of a different type of content. Instead of doing Epic 7, the gacha game on your phones and mobile devices, today we're going to be doing an unboxing for the Epic 7 board game. I kickstarted this thing and got the all-in package I want to say a year to a year and a half ago, and it finally came in the mail yesterday. So I decided to do something a little bit different and do an unboxing and show you guys everything that comes in the all-in package. So if you're on the fence on whether or not you want to actually buy this, either as an Epic 7 fan or as a tabletop gaming aficionado, that's kind of the purpose of this. I do want to apologize in advance for a couple things. One, this is the first time I've been doing an unboxing of any kind, so hopefully I got it right. If I missed anything, as always, you can just let me know down in the comments below. Two, it's the second time I've used this style of lighting and filming. Usually I do everything digitally on the screen. And three, what you are seeing here is pre-recorded footage as opposed to what I am saying here now. The original audio and my original reactions to this were actually lost for some reason. The audio just didn't work out, so I'm basically just dubbing over, and I'll talk about my thoughts after having unboxed the actual package. So here is the actual game itself. The box is fairly substantial in size. As you can see, it takes up almost the entire camera frame. My tripod is actually up on a stand right here. It's pretty hefty as well. It probably weighs, I want to say, close to about 5 pounds. It definitely has a lot of stuff in the actual box. You can see the glare from the ring light there that I have. Epic 7 Arise here, the board game on the sides. Bottom side here, we have Roz, our main character. And then on the top here, we have Luna. Obviously, they are well aware that Luna is one of the most popular characters at Epic 7. One of the biggest details I really liked about this was that it says, "My destiny, my loyalty, my horns. I offer them all to you." That obviously being Luna's summon quote, if you're familiar with that. So nice touch if you actually do play Epic 7 and you do pay attention to that. So yeah, again, they're very well aware that Luna is the premier moneymaker for this game. Yeah, so here's all the contents. You can see the back of the box here. Try and hold it up so you can see without the glare. Try and minimize the glare as much as possible. All right, so now we are going to actually open the box itself. So you can see I use just a standard X-Acto knife to just open this thing up. Sorry for any the shakes or the glares. So here's the box. The actual material itself, fairly sturdy cardboard. It has a nice I don't want to say a matte finish or something to it, which I think is really, really nice. It's definitely a well-constructed box, which is going to be in stark contrast to some of my complaints about the stuff when we actually open it. Nothing on the inside, the top of the box, as you see. You get this nice illustration here. You can see with some of the Epic 7 characters, some of which don't actually appear in this game. Like Montmorency here, for example, is not in the game. And then you have Crow, Challenger Dominial, Apocalypse Ravi, so on and so forth. That's just a cover, nothing really on the backside. Take it apart. First thing you're going to be greeted with is the rule book here when you see it. So you can see it's got the nice illustration there on it. Flip through it. One thing I will say about the rule book that I really liked about it when I opened it up is that the paper quality is very high, actually, on this instruction manual. I'm used to having board games come with these very flimsy materials. This is actually pretty high quality paper, nice glossy paper, has some serious weight to it. Doesn't feel like it'll tear easily or get damaged. You can see there's all the Kickstarter backers as well that are in the back on this list. If you look carefully, you might be able to find mine. So then I guess there's a reference sheet here also on the back. Then we have the character cards. They come in this little plastic package here, as you can see. Open these bad boys up. So you can see here. One thing I will say about these is that the card stock for the actual character cards is not as high as I would have expected them to be. I was expecting them to be thick cardboard like some of the other components, but instead it's kind of just glossy paper. It has roughly the same amount of weight as the pages from the instruction manual. So if you want to actually take care of this stuff when you get it, I highly recommend that you get some kind of laminate or sleeves in this size for them. Showing off the characters here. Dark Corvus, definitely a character who's super good right now in the current state of Epic 7, if you're somebody who plays the actual game. Luna, one of my favorite characters, definitely one of the fan favorites, largely due to her huge personality, as you could probably tell based on her artwork. And then we have Roz here at the back, our main character. So again, cardstock is acceptable, I feel like, for the hero cards, but not exactly the best. Put the cards off to the side here, off to the camera. So now we'll just take the rest of the components out here. Try to figure out what's the easiest thing to get off. So instead, we take off the little overslip here, the arrive slip, and you can find a bunch of other stuff underneath here. So now we have these small cards. These are the enemy attack cards, and there's some artifacts in there as well. You can see the face card. It's hard to see off camera, is Wind Rider, for example. So these cards are basically, if you've played like Ticket to Ride, they're those much smaller style, like heavier cardstock cards. That's basically what they are. So basically same size as, like I said, the smaller Ticket to Ride cards or any like Fantasy Flight cards, if you've used those. You can see these are different skill cards as well to use your various different skill attacks. And we have meeples. What board game would not be complete without meeples? Just generic tokens. I have the all-in package, so we can replace those with acrylic standees. But if you only buy the base games, you're only going to be really getting, just like I said, generic meeples. They're pretty much meeples, the exact same thing you'd expect from many other board games. You can see here, I hold it up to the camera. They're just standard wooden meeples. No deviation in quality from like any other game I played. Here's a bunch of standees for the various different stuff in the game if you were looking for it. What else we got in here? So we have these glass beads. These are like the sky stones, or for like soul burns and stuff. They're all in that little baggie. We have some dice, just standard plastic dice. I'll probably use metal dice, potentially, depending on whether or not I use the dice tower, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. And then you get these scenario cards, different scenarios. The base game looks like it comes with chapters 1 through 8. And then the expansions, which we'll talk about, have 9 and 10 in them. Open up the box, show you guys what's actually inside. So it has these punch outs. You can see there's Queen Diane right there from the game. Different punch outs. It's actually fairly thick material. If you've ever played like any game like a Nemesis or like a Vast, something with tiles, it's that same thick cardboard with like the nice finish on it. Same kind of material that the box itself is made of. You can see the different characters there, including Corinne, one of my absolute favorite characters. So yeah, again, really sturdy material. Very surprised at the quality of the actual cardboard components in this game. So then we go here also to the scenario cards. They come pretty much in the same kind of sleeve as the hero cards. You can see here they have the instructions on them, things like that. You can tell just like feeling it through the thing. It's the same card stock as the hero cards. So again, if you are somebody who is trying to maintain the quality of your game, keep things protected, you're probably going to want to invest in some kind of sleeves. You see here's the rule book for the scenario. You can see it has all the different instructions for how to set it up, things like that. This instruction manual here for the scenario, though, is a much lower quality paper than the instruction manual or like the cards and stuff. So it's definitely prone to potentially getting damaged or torn, so do handle that with care. Now we're going to move on to talking about the miniatures. This is probably the most disappointing part, I think, of the entire package. A lot of the miniatures are very, very hit or miss. The first one I'm going to show you is Nilgal. I think he's honestly the best miniature in the entire set. Pretty sturdy, good detailing. Won't actually have anything snap off of him. Feels like a pretty substantial, high-quality model. But then there are other ones that I'll show you after that, like Segret. A lot of the girls in this game, a lot of the very thin and lithe characters that have like weapons or components, they're either warped or potentially very easy to break. So you do want to handle most of these models with care. They feel like pretty much 3D printer quality for a lot of them. So they're very prone to having little pieces or knobs broken off if you don't handle with care. Definitely if you play this game, as you can see here, Segret, handle with care, just a slight touch there. You can see the scythe actually just bends. Even the scythe she's holding is actually warped. Again, really, really rough. Detailing also on the faces isn't really there. You'll see, I'll show you a close-up shot in a second of Sigret. You can make out the frame of her glasses, but not much else. Banshee, same thing, can't really make out the finer details on the face. So again, pretty cheap models, but they're serviceable. You can see here, the Banshee, when I took it, tried to put it back in the box there, the arm itself broke off. I was able to put it back with a little bit of glue. But yeah, again, do handle these with care. Arbiter Vildred here, one of the nicer looking models. He, like Nilgal, is pretty sturdy, really high detail, very hard to actually, like, break this. So that's what I was saying. The figures in this game are hit or miss in terms of quality. Arbiter Vildred looks incredible, feels incredible. Some of these miniatures, like the forest minions, they actually look and feel pretty good. A lot of the playable characters, though, are not exactly the best. If I had to compare it, here you can see I have a miniature from the game Santorini. It's pretty much the same plastic quality. It's like not the cheapest thing for some of this stuff, but it does feel pretty cheap compared to other games like Nemesis. Here is Mercedes, a decent close-up on her. As you can see, the detailing in the face, not really there. Here's Luna. Luna is actually, again, one of the nicer looking ones here, but again, you can see the actual lance here is very fragile. Just a slight touch on her, and you can see that it actually starts to bend a little bit there. So you do need to handle these miniatures with care. If you are playing this game, again, like these are basically like just right out of a random 3D printer. You don't want to get it damaged. The heftier characters here, like Dark Corvus or any of the big monsters, those ones I think are a bit sturdier. You're not going to really have to worry about them breaking. So again, handle a lot of this stuff with care. At the bottom of the box, you'll see these hard tiles as well as various different punch outs. This is that same thick cardboard material you're likely to find in other games that use a lot of tiles. So that's really, really nice. So again, mixed bag with the components. Some feel very cheap. Some feel very good. We really, really like that. One thing I don't like, though, is that there is no way to store this stuff at all. There's no trays or anything, bins at all. You can only really put the game back in the same way you saw me unpackage it. That's kind of rough. So as part of the all-in pledge package here, we got 2 dice bags. You can see we have Arbiter Vildred here, as well as Roz. The material on this is kind of cheap. It feels like fake velvet, basically. Compared to other dice bags I've used in the past, they're not exactly, again, super high quality. It definitely feels like it's cheap material. Drawstring just feels kind of eh. It's a serviceable bag, but I've definitely seen better components for sure. You see Roz here on the front. Put those off to the side. So now we have the acrylic standees. They sent me this like raw. It just was kind of in the actual pouch. You can see there's Ludwig. We used Kartua here as an example. These are basically like those acrylic keychains you're normally likely to see at anime conventions. They have these little standees that we can actually use them in. These are just for NPCs or markers. They're fairly standard quality if you've ever seen any of these acrylic standees for anything whatsoever. It's just weird that they kind of gave this one loose. It wasn't really in any packaging whatsoever. I don't know if that was due to making sure it could fit in the actual container. Not really sure what the reasoning is, what the logic is for why the acrylic standees are just like in a naked bag. They gave us here this Epic 7 Arise. These are extra acrylic standees for the game. And these ones did not come loose, unlike the other ones that you have. These are the Kickstarter ones, the add-on ones that you get with the all-in package. These are supposed to replace the meeples. You'll notice here, though, that Kartua is on the back of the box, which was the example one I just showed you guys from the loose packaging. That honestly really makes no sense. You're going to see I'm going to open up this package, and I'm going to show you guys the acrylic standees that are actually in it. Those acrylic standees are pretty much the exact same ones as the ones I just showed you, like sans like Ludwig. So it's kind of weird that they gave you like 2 copies of stuff, showing you off the different sides of the box here so you can see the various different artwork. So everything pulls out. It's just a little plastic bag in there with more acrylic standees. And like I said, you can see, we'll put a close-up on the screen in a second. You'll be able to see the Crow acrylic standee, but right underneath of that, you'll be able to see Kartua, which is literally the same standee that I just showed you. So there's the Ludwig. Okay, so Ludwig was in there. So yeah, there's Ludwig. And then here we go. So you can see right underneath Crow, There's Cartua right there. He's literally right there. I froze it for you so you can see. So what was the point of the extra little baggie of acrylic standees? It makes like absolutely no sense. They also gave us this dice tower. This was an add-on that you could get as a Kickstarter exclusive. It's got the actual instructions on how to assemble it. So you're going to see in a second here, I'm going to take like probably 5 or 6 minutes to actually assemble this damn thing. But I've sped it up, you know, probably like 10x speed so that way you guys don't have to sit through and watch me actually piece the whole thing together. The dice tower actually isn't the worst. I've definitely seen better dice towers, but for what this actually is, it's fine. The little slots here are a little difficult to get working. You kind of have to like pull and pry to get everything to lock into place. But once you have everything kind of in place, it is pretty good feeling. There's a smooth side to some of this acrylic, and then obviously like a rougher texture side. You kind of want to have the rougher texture side, I feel like, outside on the outer layer of it. So that way it doesn't get as damaged. So yeah, this is like your Infinite Library decal. Again, has that nice rougher texture. You can see I kind of put it wrong together in the video. I have like the glossy side here, which I end up correcting later on. You definitely, I feel like, want the rougher acrylic side so things don't get like nicked or the paint comes off or it gets scratched or any of that. So that's definitely something you want to do. I think it's a serviceable dice tower. Decently sturdy. Nothing too amazing. Would not use metal dice on it, even though I like using metal dice. I probably would just use the plastic dice that the game comes with to actually use this dice tower. Or just any dice of your choice. Again, feels like this would scratch very easily if you use something like metal dice on it. So, yeah. So that's pretty much the dice tower there. Again, super kind of whatever. Here's another unmarked package that came with it. There was several unmarked things, which I was very surprised about. So this is all the scenario cards for one of the expansions that has to do with Robbie and all the different Kickstarter exclusive characters like Sirmia and whatnot. So yeah, there's the heroes. Speaking of Sirmia, best girl Sirmia right there. Definitely one of the first characters I'm going to be playing. It's either going to be her or Luna for sure in my very first game. So put everything off to the side. Again, it feels like those Kickstarter exclusive stuffs, like that really should have come in one complete package instead of just being loose. It kind of makes keeping track of everything kind of rough. Here are the figures that go with that expansion. You can see it literally just came in that white cardboard sleeve. That's really rough. Would have liked to have seen a finished package. Here is Ludwig, the little man himself. Fairly good detailing on his model. He's pretty sturdy. Yeah, man, like the detailing on some of the stuff, like the larger the figure, the better it actually ends up looking. Here's a bunch of standees for the monsters, for the bases and stuff, so that they're easier to stand up. It's kind of like a thick plastic material. Here are the other characters that come with the Kickstarter exclusive. We have Flitica, Tamarin, Silverblade Araminta, and then unfortunately, here's Sirmia. My Sirmia is actually warped out of the box. So, like, not only did the Banshee figure basically break as soon as I took it out of the box, but you can see my Sirmia is, like, trying to be Neo from the Matrix. She's, like, completely warped and falling backwards. If anyone else bought this and yours is like that, let me know. Here's Robbie, the villain that comes with the expansion. Detailing is not there on the face, but the rest of Robbie actually looks fairly good. I think the detailing on the axe is actually quite nice. You can see it has the skull there, and then there's all the different various textures on the back. So yeah, Robbie is one of the nicer looking models, but again, a lot of the stuff does feel pretty cheap for the 3D miniatures. So if you were looking for some high quality miniatures, I think that's my biggest knock against this actual game. So here's the For Hope expansion, which contains Says here on the bottom. And then the girl Bologna, obviously a character that just got a new Moonlight 5-star as well on the other side. So this contains basically Says and Bologna as additional characters, as well as Archie and Mercedes. So we crack open the box here, and you'll see there's chapters 9, 10, and the side story. Here are the character cards. This just contains Says and Bologna. Again, that kind of like flimsy, glossy paper for the heroes. There's a close-up of Bologna's face if you want to admire her beauty. Definitely would get some kind of laminate or sleeve for those. Here's the various different models that it comes with. Looks like 3 unknowns, a Bologna, a Says, and an Archdemon. There's nothing underneath that flap there. That's why I expose it. So all you're really getting is 3 more of these chapters, 6 figurines, and 2 character cards. The unknowns look fairly good. There's Bologna. Bologna is one of the nicer looking models. There's Says. Says is a little bit awkward in terms of textures. And then here is Archdemon Mercedes, who actually looks fairly good if you could ignore the fact that the face, again, doesn't really have any detailing on it. Here is the Guardian set that they gave us as well. So this one actually made me laugh pretty hard, because one of the major selling points for this Guardian set is, it says here on the back, I'm actually looking at, you can actually upgrade your Guardians. That is literally, you see 4 upgrade boards, right, for upgrading your Guardians. So that was a feature that was planned since the beginning of Epic 7. It's still not in the game. It is in the board game, but it's not in this game. So these are also acrylic standees, but these ones are like absolutely massive here. So you're going to see me pull out like Zayon, I believe is his name here, in a second. So we can take a look at that. It is a huge acrylic standee. It is quite large. Try and get it to focus, and there you go. That is quite a large standee. Fairly thick material. Again, it feels like those anime keychains or acrylic standees you see at various different comic conventions. Here's our boy Tom Cruise, the dragon. So again, acrylic standees, fairly nice. You can see Arky there on the mat as well. It also comes with these like soul burn counters. These are basically the same like plastic pellets you've seen in so many other games. A game like Nemesis, for example, uses these for like damage tokens. They're the same cheap plastic tokens you've probably seen in a million other board games as well. Then we have the Guardian boards themselves. The instruction manual that comes with it is kind of, again, very flimsy paper, like the side story chapters. Much lower quality than the actual rule book that comes with the base game. Definitely prone to tearing, getting nicked, corners bent if you're not careful with it. So I would definitely handle, like with a lot of things in this package, handle it with care. So now we're going to open up here the actual Guardian boards themselves so we can see the quality. You can see there's about like 6 to 8 of them in here. Just like with a lot of other components with this game, these Guardian boards are pretty much the same thick cardboard material you find in many other games that use them as tiles. Fairly sturdy, very high quality. Would not worry about these getting damaged or anything at all. Pretty much only if you like spilled like liquid on them would I be actually worried. They're that nice, like, you know, textured, zigzag, cross-lined cardboard that you've come to expect from many other high quality board games. Have the punch outs for all the different upgrade cards. And then finally, the last thing that came in here is the Acolyte set, which comes with Spectre Tenebria as well as Charon as additional bosses. So you can see the packaging on this one is noticeably worse than the previous 2 expansions. This is very much just like flimsy, glossy cardboard. It feels very cheap compared to the packaging on the other 2 things that we looked at. See, Acolyte set on the side. Acolyte set, no real character artwork to speak of. And you can see the contents here on the back. Try and crack it open here. So there you go. You can see it comes with all of the various different miniatures as well as 2 additional things. So here are the cards for Spectre Tenebria and Charon as enemy encounters. Spectre Tenebria, one of the top tier damage dealers throughout Epic 7's lifespan. Tenebria, very popular character. The card stock on these ones is exactly the same as pretty much all the other hero cards. It's like basically a little bit heavier than the like glossy paper. So again, you're definitely going to want to get like laminate sleeves for these, I feel like. And if somebody's watching this makes actual like trays or storage units, I feel like that's going to be a big concern for this entire game. We're definitely going to need something for all these cards. You can see they got like Wyvern as one of the actual encounters. They didn't use the Wyvern 13 sprite, so that's a little bit regrettable. Again, that little instruction manual is a little bit of that flimsy paper that could get damaged. The Wyvern tokens, though, are much higher quality. They're, again, that same thick cardboard that you're used to seeing. You get the 2 Wyvern punch-out tokens here. So now we can actually take a look at the Wyvern figure. This one is actually fairly good, pretty detailed. I feel like the monsters overall are significantly better than the characters. The wings are a little fragile on the Wyverns, but otherwise it's fine. Here's Charon. Again, no real textures on the face. It's not the best in terms of detail, but the armor looks fairly good on this character. So if you're a Charon fan, I do think he's a little bit better than some of the other ones. Do note, by the way, his sword is very fragile again, just like a love tap could potentially snap that off. Here's Tenebria. Not super in love with her actual pose here. It feels very unfitting for the character. It's a very unnatural pose that's just kind of there, I think, to show off her hips and her chest. And it's, again, it's not super great because, like, Tenebria isn't really that kind of character. I don't really know what the origin of this pose is, but it doesn't really feel very true to the character and in the game. Not super big fan of Tenebria for the most part. And that's pretty much going to be it for everything they sent me for the all-in package for Epic 7. There were a couple things that were missing. Pros, pretty good representation of the game, pretty good component choices for things like the board, the cards, but the miniatures, which are supposed to be the main selling point, I feel like are a mixed bag. Creatures feel really good, but some of the thinner characters, especially the females, feel not as detailed as you expect and honestly pretty cheap, like they just came out of a basic 3D printer that you could do at home. But yeah, components do not necessarily make the game, they just kind of enhance it. I think the real test is going to be, how does the game actually play? After I am done recording this video, I'm going to get together with some friends and we're actually going to sit down and play the game. So if you're keen on a review for the Epic 7 Arise board game, I will have that at some point here on the channel. Just please be patient with me. I don't know really how long it'll take me. I've never really tried to do anything as far as filming tabletop game footage or things like that. So again, it might take me a little bit longer. But hopefully you did enjoy this unboxing of the Epic 7 Arise board game. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments below. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later now.